Hi, I'm Nicole Jacinto. Join us on Healthline with 𝗛𝗵𝗹𝗁 as we discuss the latest health and medical topics with doctors from 𝗛𝗵𝗁. For a healthier and uplifting lifestyle, tune into Healthline with 𝗛𝗵𝗁 on DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Radio Bandido TV. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Watch and listen to Healthline with 𝗛𝗵𝗁 every Monday from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. airing on Sky Cable Channel 224 and on all DTT boxes, simulcasting online on Facebook and YouTube. Listen and watch on your mobile devices. Just search DZRJ Radio Bandido.
You're about to experience Healthline, a show where doctors from 𝗛𝗵𝗁 interact with you for a healthy, uplifting lifestyle. Moderated by Nicole Jacinto. You've got questions, we've got answers. So welcome to Healthline.
Hi everybody and welcome to Healthline with 𝗛𝗵𝗁. I'm your host Nicole Jacinto. We are live in Manila. It's 5 p.m. our time, November 20, 2023. Did I remember the year? Yes, I did. Okay. Anyway, with us today on the show, we're going to do some greetings later because I just heard that some people sent in some greetings. But with us on our show today is Dr. Maria Victoria Dizon. And welcome to the show, Doc. By the way, our topic for today is atopic dermatitis. And Dr. Dizon is a dermatology specialist. How are you today, Doctor?
Good, Nicole, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, it's our pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for agreeing to be on the show and for informing us about this topic and perhaps some other things that may come up. I hope you do come back again and join us and we can talk about something else that has to do with your field, of course, and your specialty. And there are a lot of things that we can discuss. Doctor, I appreciate your being here today. And can you tell us, okay, let's jump right into it. What is atopic dermatitis?
All right. Atopic dermatitis is a condition that affects the skin. And this is a problem that mostly affects children, but it's not impossible, nor is it unusual that adults or grown-ups will also have this condition. So the atopic dermatitis has the patient has very itchy skin. The skin is red, it's angry, and it comes and goes. In other words, it's recurrent. So basically, that encapsulates what atopic dermatitis is all about.
Thank you, doctor. That's such a descriptive answer and complete one. But if you don't mind, I may ask you some repetitive questions later, just so people like me can understand it better. Thank you, doctor. Okay, so doctor, do people interchange, or can you tell us what exactly is the difference between atopic dermatitis and eczema? Because I think the terms are interchanged sometimes. Are they the same thing or are they different?
You know, Nicole, I'm glad you asked that question because I will touch on the word eczema first, all right? So we usually hear a lot of people like, what's your skin problem? My doctor said I have eczema. So, or they will say, I have asthma of the skin. So those are yes, right? So that's what that is frequently told of them what their problem is. But bottom line, when we talk of eczema, it's again depicts a skin that is itchy, and that is at times there's oozing, or it's the sugat that has that I'll use the word Tagalog term of kumakatas. There is discharge. So it's the eczema basically covers that description that you have the rash that is itchy, and it either could be having some amount of discharge or exudation. And because of that itchiness, it becomes prolonged. So from those rashes that are bumpy, later on the rashes become kind of thickened because the patient constantly scratches it. It's almost like making a parallel picture of an elephant's skin. All right.
Yes,
Right.
that it's sort of
So,
like trunk and
right. It's so
that
thick. It's so thick. It's already discolored. It has become brownish or darkly colored. So that is eczema. Now, under that word eczema, actually there are different kinds of conditions that is considered as an eczema. We can have an eczema that's because the skin reacted to something that create an allergic reaction. There is an eczema that is due to some irritation that comes out in the skin, like a sweat. So, but atopic eczema or atopic dermatitis is also an eczema. It's a specific type of eczema. So, yes, they are used interchangeably. But now we have to understand, and the patient needs to understand that if a doctor or a healthcare provider tells them that you have eczema, the patient should ask the healthcare provider, all right, I have eczema. What kind of eczema?
Exactly.
So that is now, yes, there's a form of an eczema. So
Thank you, doctor. That was fantastic. Okay, since people tend to use the terms interchangeably, if I could just kind of recap, and please correct me if I'm wrong. From my understanding of what you just explained, eczema is like an umbrella term for different types of skin conditions. And with eczema, there is the oozing. Maybe it's the scratching, the wound, and it could have been caused by anything from maybe exposure to a chemical or something that the person was allergic to. And when someone says you have eczema, it's important for the patient to ask what kind, because atopic dermatitis is a type of eczema, but it has its own specific, I guess, treatment. Some symptoms are the same; they may look the same. Depends, I guess, on the situation. Like if you scratch something a lot, then it, if there's a wound, that there's that sort of like oily film that comes out.
yes.
Yes, I'm very familiar with that.
Oh, are you atopic?
I have no idea. I just get a lot of I've gotten a lot of allergies. So and skin exposure. Maybe you can check me out one of these days and tell me what exactly it is. Sometimes a mosquito will just bite me and there it goes. There it starts. I mean,
Yes.
These things, or dry skin or whatever it is. And I'm sure a lot of people who are listening and watching experience the same type of thing. So I'm so glad we're doing this topic today and focusing on atopic dermatitis. And now you've outlined the difference between atopic dermatitis and eczema. And thank you so much for that, because it's difficult when we just interchange terms and we don't even know what we have, So thank you for that, doctor. And okay, so what are you did mention already some of the symptoms of atopic dermatitis, but perhaps we can outline it again. Itching, what else?
Yeah, so now we are looking at what is in the menu of an atopic patient. All right. So I was emphasizing a while ago, you already have itchy skin, itchy, angry, red skin. That if this drags on for a long period of time, that itchy, red, angry, oozing skin becomes itchy, thick, and darkly colored skin. So that's one. Number two, those rashes have a particular location on the body that actually depicts according to age. And it would say, spot on, this patient is highly likely to be an atopic because as an infant, as a wee one, as a baby, the location of the rashes, it's very telling. So you would see that the rashes are on the face. The scalp can also be affected. The arms and legs are affected. You will see the rashes there. You will see all the rashes also on the trunk or the entire body. But the funkiness about the rashes in an infant is that when you open the diaper area, it's like wow, Eureka, the area looks so quiet. It's like isn't that weird that the diaper area is hardly manifesting with the rashes? So
Yes.
basically, that's for the infant. Now the infant is slowly growing up to be a toddler, a child.
Mm-hmm.
The child now has atopic rashes basically seen over the the skin folds of the arms and the areas behind the knees.
Okay,
All right?
so the parts of the body affected when it's an infant, it's basically everywhere, the trunk, the
Practically
face,
all over.
except for the diaper area. Like when you open it up,
Yes.
oh, it's not there. But
Yes.
as a child grows, or perhaps even in adults, you were saying it's in the folds of the skin, like
Yes,
in this one, back of the
it's
elbow.
not, yes, the arm folds, this one,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
behind the knees. But
Yes.
still remember this, that our audience, our listeners, or our viewers should also understand that the rashes are not only over the arms and behind the knees.
Yes.
There are other rashes in other parts of the body. It can still be all over the body, but
Yes.
it's very remarkably seen over these areas. So what I'm trying to say is that you see it over the sites of predilection, or the sites where it's frequently appreciated, the rashes, that is. So you would also see this over the neck folds. Look what I'm doing.
Yeah, the back of your neck.
Yes.
How about in the underarms or the armpits? Are they there?
Well, to a certain extent, yes. But also you will find it under the folds of the bum or
Yeah.
or the buttocks.
Yeah.
I'd like to use the word bum. So
Yeah.
you will see the rashes there. But otherwise, again, they are from infants, from childhood, now even teenagers or adolescents, and also adults. You will still see it practically over the folds of the arms and behind the knees. But this time, the rashes are practically appearing or looking more thickened, dark. So, so basically, the other clues that tells us that this is atopic dermatitis is, according to age, you see it in these certain locations. The itchiness is there. And but what is very remarkable also about atopic skin is the skin is so dry. They've got dried out skin. And amongst others, that, well, you will see certain areas of the body, like behind the arms. This one, you will have like, what are those rashes that they look like thorns? So it's like, it's what we call keratosis pilaris.
Okay.
So in other words, there are other accompanying clues or symptoms and signs that will tell us that the patient has atopic eczema or atopic dermatitis. And lastly, the patient may also have a family history wherein the other members of the blood relatives, especially the parents, manifesting with signs of atopy, what we call atopy, meaning there is hyperreactivity to certain things. So whether the family members are showing also the same symptoms the patient has atopic eczema, or there's a family history of allergy, or there's a family history of allergic rhinitis. Oh, we know that this is the season of allergic rhinitis. Yeah? I'm one of them. This it's like it's not the rooster crowing. It's us, the allergic rhinitis people sneezing.
Yes, that's
Greeting
me.
the morning. We. Good morning, Chu. So
Yes.
so those are the signs of atopy that may also be very telling, that the patient has atopic dermatitis.
So, doctor, you mentioned a lot of things, which I'll circle back to some of them later in relation to
Sure.
the topic, such things as allergy or like the family and other things like that. But thank you for being so thorough and actually a lot of fun to interview. Really, really, I'm having a good time. I'm sure our viewers are having a good time, with you explaining everything. And actually, I also really love learning new words and the way you explain it. Like when you talked about eczema, is it eczema because it exudes? I mean, could you tell us like a little bit of how, like, those things are also, I think, very important for patients to know in general, like some of the word meanings. So they, okay, I get it. Like every time there's a itis, it's swollen, things like that. Like
Yes.
eczema and
Yes.
atopy, mentioned that.
Agree. Yes. So you're right. That last word, the last four letters of itis means
Mhm.
there is some inflammation. All right.
Okay.
So dermatitis,
Uh-huh.
itis, meaning skin is inflamed. Now,
Okay.
you mentioned a while ago that, why is there oozing? Why is there like fluid that I feel on my skin? Why is there discharge? Primarily going back again to what does eczematous skin look like? So eczematous skin, eczema means you have bumpy skin. Those bumpy skin are either they are purely bumps, or some of the bumps are tiny blisters, tiny little bumps that has water inside. So if you can imagine those tiny blisters, maybe I like putting analogy whenever I talk. Try to imagine you've got a balloon and really decrease the size to almost a size of a millimeter and put water inside that balloon. All right. I'm just making an analogy here so that you put those several balloons with water inside and you scratch them, they will burst.
Boom. Yeah, there you
And
go.
so when it bursts, the fluid is now going to be on the skin. So that is what our patients, or the person who has eczema, but to be more specific now, the atopic eczema is feeling, and will now understand, why does my skin feel so wet and sticky and all right?
It's dry, you're right.
It's dried out also because basically patients with atopic eczema or atopic dermatitis, from the get-go, the moment they are born, they have naturally dried out skin already.
Okay.
Simply because our skin cells, our skin is more complex than one could ever imagine. Our skin has its own factory that specializes in creating its own natural moisturizing factors. All right? Now, get this. On top of the one of the higher layers, topmost layers of the skin, there's a particular level, or all right, let's put it this way, a particular floor.
Yes.
It's like a factory. There's a particular floor that churns out those moisturizing factors, ceramides, fatty acids, etc. However, yes, however, those who are genetically predisposed to having a bogged down factory, all right, the filaggrin factory, I'd like to put it that way. Now they cannot produce so much of the natural moisturizing factors, so suddenly the skin is kind of like dried out.
Yes.
Try to imagine, it's like the skin of our grandparents or someone with again, very dried out skin. So that now is one of the natural landscape of an atopic skin. The dryness is part of the landscape. And dryness again is another beast that will create itchiness, oozing, scratching. So those are one of the physical aspects of atopic eczema or atopic dermatitis.
And doctor, you talked about the skin, fantastic, like how it's a factory, and every layer it's there to produce something, and then there's one that produces the natural skin moisturizers that we have.
Yes,
and that part of the factory of our skin is not working. As you said, the skin is more complex than than people imagine it to be. For us, it's just skin; it's there every day, but it is the biggest organ in the body. And then also, is that one of the causes of atopic dermatitis? Is that one of it, that there are people who are born or predisposed to have dry skin, or what? And if it's one of the causes, what are the other causes? What actually causes it?
Good. So when I was talking about the skin a while ago, I am talking about looking it from the outside. Other causes of atopic eczema or atopic dermatitis is we look from the inside. What on earth is going on in the inside of our body? All right. The importance of our immune system, our immune cells. Now, there is a particular immunological dysfunction or dysregulation that essentially, if there is a dysregulation inside our immune system, this will now translate to affecting the organ, again, the skin, creating inflammation. So that's another. And we are hearing a lot about giving importance to what we are eating.
Yes,
You heard it, like the gut microorganism or the gut microbiome, right? You're hearing that.
yes, we're hearing that, and about probiotics and whatever.
Yes, exactly. Because now there is also interconnectivity. I'd like to say that there is this natural internet Wi-Fi communication that's going on inside our body. Whatever you feed yourself with, your gut microbiome also has that capacity to react to what is ever is fed to them. They will be happy microorganisms. So that means the signals that they're going to send out into the body, not on all organ systems, and one of the organs, again, that you mentioned a while ago, is the skin, is going to be, okay, happy signals. So happy signals, happy skin, healthy skin. But if you feed your gut, your stomach, your intestines with junk, with food that will create a lot of inflammation, well, you can expect chaos. You can expect a bit of angry signals being sent everywhere. And that's where you will see the skin to also be reflecting its inflammation, because also the microbiome, the gut microbiome, is getting disrupted. Now, let me translate that also on the skin. Well, guess what? Our skin also has its community of microorganisms. It also has its microbiome, the friendly microorganisms. Those friendly microorganisms are the microorganisms that's keeping our skin in check. Meaning, check the pH is good pH, near acidic, and it's also fortified. Like, imagine the perimeter wall of your precious home.
Yes.
The good stability of our roof of our house. Imagine those to be your skin. You have to take care of your roof, of your perimeter wall, because those are like, these structures of our house is like our skin. You don't take care of your skin, well, you're going to have a leaky roof. You're going to have a porous or a hole in the wall.
Yes, a hole in the wall.
So, what
A
can
damaged door.
the hole in the wall? All the kawatans, all the criminals. And what are the criminals? The bad bacteria.
Yes. Doctor, can you talk to us more about pH levels? Like remind us of the things like there's alkaline or alkaline and acidic. Can you tell us more about like what is a good pH level? I know it's probably different in different parts of the skin, but feel free to tell us all about that. Okay.
Let's go for the nerds who are listening to the program
Well,
now.
I'm a nerd and I know a lot of nerds also, so they will be listening to us.
Nerds rule. Oh, but no, the thing is also it's good to let people know so that they will understand and be more um educated and
Yes.
more discerning of what they will do to their body already. They understand why they have to do it. So pH. Our skin's pH is actually a good 5.5 to give it 6 or a little over 6. So a slightly acidic. All right. Now,
Okay.
that
Doctor, acidic higher and alkaline lower?
yeah, as acidic is lower, alkaline
Lower.
is higher. All right.
Alkaline. Okay.
Yeah. So neutral is something to the like 7 or something to that effect, but acidic is already slightly acidic, 5.5, and super acidic. You're going down the scale. So,
Yeah.
so the thing now here is the skin is a good pH of 5.5 to 6 or even 6.5. All right. Now,
Okay.
if you have that kind of pH, then your skin would be a strong wall, a strong fortified barrier, a wall, a barrier, the skin barrier. Now, if that pH tips towards the alkalinic side, going higher, the number is now going up. It's going to the 8, to the 9. Then, you know what? The skin now, as a factory, is already starting to bog down. One is that factory that's producing the natural moisturizing factors is beginning to shut down. It's getting depleted. So now your skin becomes dried out. You've got dried out factory producing no natural moisturizer. Who will now feed our skin cells? Now our skin cells that's supposed to be like a water tank, filled with nutritious fluid, with nutritious water, suddenly becomes devoid or lacking in water, so it shrinks, it shrivels. Imagine a dry leaf or a dried out petal. Isn't
Yes.
it? It's so shriveled.
It's so
So
shriveled.
like it crumbles.
Yes, yes. It's
Oh,
it's really fantastic. Prone to crumbling, shriveled, just
now,
completely dehydrated.
absolutely. Now, if I'm all again talking about you have skin cells that are practically intertwined. Now, all of a sudden, your skin cells are beginning to get dried out and they're starting to shrink. So there are spaces that already develop between the skin cells. So imagine you're already developing cracks.
Yes.
Your roof has leaks. It has butas. It has,
Yes.
you're right.
So,
Or your wall, your perimeter wall. It's like, oh no, there are cracks.
yes.
So the skin now is able to absorb all those irritants coming from the environment, allergens,
Yes.
those things that can create an allergic, that can trigger the skin to manifest with an allergic reaction.
Okay.
And so even as simple as, all right, you're cooking and then suddenly you poured, uy nako, the suka, it got it got splattered all over my skin, and ouch, 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 it hurts, it's burning, it's stinging. So on normal skin you won't feel that, but with dried out skin, I'm sure you've experienced in your lifetime that the vinegar
More
is,
painful than it should be.
ouch, yes. Now,
Yeah.
have you experienced also in your lifetime that you have super dried out hands? And when you
Yes.
turn on the water faucet, water starts flowing. When you put your hands there, did it ever occur to you that your dried hands started, even with just plain water, started to have just a wee bit of a sting?
Actually, yes, it actually happened to me. I'll tell you. It was winter of 1994. I had gone abroad and like did not have gloves or anything, and it was like the worst winter that they had in Boston in 100 years, and my skin actually cracked. Because I wasn't able to go and get the right equipment, right? That you need, and my skin cracked, my lip and my hand. And I'll tell you, even just water or touching, it's painful. It was painful, even to wash your hands. Like, oh my God, you know.
Nicole, you're so funny. 1994, you were in Boston. 1994, I was in Chicago. I know
Oh.
what kind of winter you were talking.
You know the kind of winter I'm talking about, right?
We're by the Great Lakes. You know also the
It's windier there.
the wind chill.
The wind chill
is
factors.
brutal. So
Yeah.
it's like when we put our dried out hands because of the winter eczema underneath the water, we're practically screaming because it's like all of a sudden it's not only stinging, it feels like it's slicing.
Yes, exactly. That's how to describe it. Slicing.
Yeah, right.
Like things cutting you and you're like, this is just water. But it cuts.
If I'm gonna translate it back here in the Philippines, okay, what's another common thing that causes that pain from astringents that is used on the face, the toners, the alcohol-based cosmetics, the astringent? You overuse that. Now, anyone amongst our viewers or listeners, when you splash water on your face, did you ever feel that, ouch, that stings? That stings. Or you felt like your face is like, wow, why does it feel a little bit way too stretched? Well, guess, and it's a little bit itchy. Look where, this is a very common area that it gets itchy, scratchy. Well, everyone, you are already manifesting with dried out skin.
And as you said earlier,
you're already manifesting with a form of an eczema.
Because the skin's shrinking, so now when you put the water, parang it feels stretched or it feels stretched out. Oh, don't use it as a technique in people for, getting facelifts. I don't think I don't think purposely getting eczema is a good way.
Don't over astringent your face. So can you imagine again the allergic materials can enter the skin? And I will mention one thing that people do not realize. The pollution outside, the pollutants on a millimicron level can penetrate that porous skin already. So guess what? Those 𝗛𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗹𝗁 particles that's floating around Metro Manila, it's already penetrating your dried out skin.
Yeah,
your eczematous skin, your atopic skin. Kaya nga in a polluted area, in those areas that you have a lot of pollution, there are also a big number of community dwellers are manifesting also with eczematous skin. So think about that. Even on a millimicron level, you can have allergens entering already your compromised skin, your porous skin.
Doctor, quick question, because you mentioned the pollution, no? And but okay, let's say you're not like there exposed to that pollution exactly, no? But let's say you're in an area where it's wooded, but you have dry skin, and then you're allergic pala to pollen, all sorts of pollen, and it's pollen season. Can that also penetrate your skin, and suddenly you're getting itchy everywhere, and you don't know why?
To a certain extent, yes, it can, but the pollens also are more of an aeroallergen.
Okay.
So yes, that's another thing that it can, but it's more also it's an aeroallergen that you sniff and you're become reactive, and the skin becomes reactive. So it's not only like right now. Also, our weather, it's like, wow, the Philippines, we have winter. Yes, this kind of weather, if it goes down to the lower 20s, for our neighbors in the US or Europe, to them, that's not
It's
even
summer.
cold. That's summer
Yeah.
for us. Yeah, right. But
Right?
for us who's in a hot, humid country, Southeast Asia,
Yeah.
but Thailand,
Yes.
Indonesia, it's always the cold season means lower 20s,
Mhm.
18 and below of degrees centigrade. That's already cold to some people, and that already creates itchy skin for them. So it's a matter of perspective of what you got acclimatized to.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
I understand. I mean, there. Since you were there also that winter, I used to like stick my hand out and go, "Oh, it's 26 Fahrenheit." And of course, if you're already like your skin is used to this right now, is your skin is used to this here. As you were saying, it gets a bit colder, it gets drier.
Yes,
Sometimes we still feel hot, but the fact is the weather has changed. It's dropped a little and it does affect us. Does
it,
affect us on our
it
skin.
does. It does. So now, whether it's whether you are in a country that where
Mhm.
it really goes single digits or even in the negative
Yeah.
level of a degree centigrade or Fahrenheit, whichever. But now with that dried out skin, this is where we press and emphasize the importance of, well, you gotta put moisturizer, because you have to already add external sources that
Mhm.
will repair your skin. So in this with that issue, having said that, now
Mhm.
you have to put good amounts of moisturizers always.
Mhm.
Also, if it is not the cold season, sweat breaks the skin down as well. So what do the moisturizers do? They repair also. So the moisturizers are not only protective, but
Mhm.
they can repair
They can heal.
broken down skin. Yes, absolutely.
So, doctor, let's say like, okay, somebody who exercises a lot, that would not be me, but somebody who exercises a lot and they perspire a lot, right? So if sweat, then after they shower and all that, or who knows, they then they can then they it's okay. It's a good idea for them to use moisturizer also. If
Absolutely.
they sweat so much.
Absolutely. Because now you got exposed to the external elements out there, the environmental elements. And when you take a shower, now you are repairing your skin and fortifying your skin by applying the emollients or the moisturizers after you take a shower.
Okay. Doctor, since we're on the topic of moisturizers, can you tell us the good ones and the ones that are perhaps bad or not so good for us? I mean, there's so many ingredients. Of course, personally, I don't like the ones that are scented, but that may not, I mean, it may not be just that. Like, what are parabens? Why are we not supposed to use them? Or like, what do you find the best kindness? And sometimes I find the simplest ones are best for me when I
Yes,
do moisturize.
right.
You feel me, I know. When I do moisturize.
It's a good question. I would rather I find it best not to give brand names, but
Yes,
maybe
yes.
the ones that are very good to think about is, all right, you yourself, very smart. You already chose definitely no to fragrances, no to those that are really have strong scents.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because the strong scents or perfumed ones are the ones that are causing an allergic reaction. They are considered as allergens,
Yes.
fragrances. All right. And this is where what our colleagues in our dermatological society, the Philippine Dermatological Society, and also in Makati Medical Center, we're in
Mm-hmm.
contact dermatitis. We have experts in contact dermatitis that can come to our institution, to Makati Medical Center, that will be able to determine
Mm-hmm.
what allergen is frequently causing a reaction on your skin.
Mm-hmm.
So our contact dermatitis experts will have the patients undergo a particular investigative type of procedure, going through patch testing.
Okay.
That's very extensive to talk about, but in a quick
Yes, we can do
description.
another show about
Yeah.
it. At least
Okay.
patch
Yes,
testing.
absolutely. So, one, contact dermatitis, but two, you have to also ask your doctor, your dermatologist, what they feel would be an ideal moisturizer for you. Why am I saying that? We tailor make our decisions according to our patients. Like, for example, Nicole, you're the patient.
Yes.
I would, when we are talking, and I'm already starting to get an idea what you like, what you feel like putting on your skin, etc. And I'm seeing also what kind of problem you have on your skin. I'm
Mhm.
already processing the type of moisturizer or emollient that I have in mind I feel would benefit you. Because
Yes.
now this is where, again, our friends should understand that there is rhyme and reason why there is
Yes.
a list of ingredients or components in all right, I'll use the word cosmetic products in
Yes.
general, all
In
right?
general,
And guess
yeah.
what? Moisturizers are considered as cosmetic
Yeah.
products, all right? So there's rhyme and reason why all the ingredients are enumerated or listed
Mhm.
on the packaging. And one emollient or one moisturizer has a component that is different from another moisturizer. Now, there are certain ingredients that has a particular unique mechanism or action or something unique that they can do this particular function that we feel will benefit the patient. And that's where I will say the type of moisturizer or the brand that your doctor or especially your dermatologist or your pediatric dermatologist feels would benefit you, let it be the choice of the doctor. And the doctor
Yeah.
will explain to you, why did I choose that?
Yeah.
Why? So educating
Yes.
our patients is also very important to us,
Yeah.
imparting to you issues why we are doing what we are doing to you, so that
Yeah.
you will understand, why do I need to apply this? Why do I need to take this medication? We explain, we educate.
That's great, doctor. And so it's really individualized also based on your interview with the patient and how what you observe. I mean, and all of that. That's why it is important if you're, especially if you're having these problems, to go to a doctor and and ask and listen also. And well, as you said, it there's a reason why all the ingredients are listed there, and I always read them. Like for example, there's some lotions that say or whatever face soap, which do I use it? Haha, just kidding. They'll say like they'll say maybe not. No, they'll say there's chamomile in it, and I'm allergic to chamomile, so I don't.
Exactly.
Other people might not be, and that would be
Exactly.
fine. But I don't. So I'm like, no, I can't use that. It has chamomile and or chamomile, as the British say.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's different
Potato,
things.
potato.
Yes, it's a potato, tomato, tomato. And if anyone is watching, which apparently, actually, what's that? Alessandra is watching from the UK in Bath specifically. Hello there, Alessandra.
Hello, Alessandra.
Yes, we love your accent.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome to the future. I'm saying, all right, doctor. Okay, so thank you for getting into that, no, and for answering my question and really jumping into it, because I am just like this inquisitive patient, as a lot of our viewers and listeners are, who just it comes there, these thoughts, and it's so good to have someone to discuss them with. And always before the show, I pray that all the information that comes out, I literally pray. I think you saw me, I that it goes
Yes,
to
I did.
okay, that it goes to the people who may be touched by it, who may be informed by it, who can do something with it, whether it starts a question in them or about themselves or someone else, so that this show can really help uplift people's lifestyles and make them healthier.
Yeah.
So anyway, doc, okay, um we've talked about that. Okay, another question related to atopic dermatitis, like, is it an allergy, um, or is it related to allergic reactions that a patient may have? Or is it a totally different thing on its own?
Nicole, I'm glad you asked that. All right. So the atopic eczema or atopic dermatitis is already a stage that is already getting ready for the patient to become allergic.
Okay.
Right? So the thing now here is, one of the things that the patient now will be manifesting with an allergic reaction simply because there are allergens that are absorbed through the skin and the body gets sensitized. All right? So it's almost like here is that item that if you are an individual that's prone to developing an allergic reaction, first exposure, the body goes, ooh, what's that?
Yeah.
Second exposure, oh, what's that? Third exposure, hey, oh, what's that? And then succeeding exposures, now the skin, there are cells that will suddenly relay a message that, nope, I'm already sensitized to that, and now I am going to break out into an inflammatory reaction, which is an allergic reaction. All right?
Thank you, doctor, for explaining it being sensitized. Go ahead, doctor, and I'll say my piece after you. Next.
Yeah. So now the thing now here is there are certain topicals or things that penetrate the skin. And guess what? Again, of course, we know that the common things that are penetrating the skin are on the cosmetic products. Yeah. So the problem now here is there are certain items that penetrate the skin that, hey, guess what? Even if we ingest it or smell it, it creates an allergic reaction. Like, okay, there are some metals that, like nickel, that you would see it in food. So there is like a skin. You have a nickel allergy, but guess what? There are food items also that has nickel. So when you're eating it, why am I developing an allergic reaction? So
how about mercury? I mean,
oh my God, mercury, that's toxic.
It's toxic already, so you don't need to be allergic. It is simply toxic. It's poison.
Toxic, period. But I think I basically, oh boy, this is going to show it's dated. But there was a time that children were playing with mercury, like pushing it at all on the table. Yes. But now it's banned. You notice that in industries, or especially in healthcare facilities, instruments that contain mercury are gone.
Yeah.
Thermometer. Oh my God, thermometer. Like you shake it, you put it under your tongue, and then you shake it. Yeah. Oh my God, it's 39.5.
Exactly.
But now it's, no, you cannot use mercury containing gadgets. So the blood pressure apparatus,
yes,
the apparatus, you see it, and then the mercury. Mercury
you pump it and the mercury would rise. Yes.
You cannot have such a thing because mercury is toxic. But going back to what it creates an allergic reaction. So basically, the skin can absorb allergens that when now the body gets sensitized to that particular component, when that component gets reintroduced into the body, whether ingested eating, whether it is inhaled aeroallergen, or other sources, the body is going to react. So again, going to why is it important that we take care of our skin from the get-go? Now, the atopic dermatitis patient, now we want them to not develop that, what we, the dermatologists and our allergologist colleagues, say atopic March, meaning the patients now who early on in life develop a particular severity, a severe type of atopic eczema, they are more prone to developing allergy, asthma, allergic rhinitis. So now that is the atopic March. So now respiratory problem is the patient is more prone to developing asthma later on in life. All because from early on in life, the skin was already compromised.
I think I need to go to you.
Oh, we'll have fun of talking. Yes.
After the show, I'm gonna get your number. But it makes a lot of sense. Okay, and I'll just, this is my personal opinion. Jump in anytime if you think I'm wrong to correct me, and in front of the listeners and the audience. And by the way, hello to Nadine and Lucia watching from Honolulu live. They're staying up a little bit late, but they're watching. I mean, it's late their time now, but they're watching the show. And also to, I just have to, Therese and, Therese and Jolly in Singapore. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. And Therese and Jolly are like medical professionals. So, you can like, put me on check if you want to, but doctor is here. Okay, so doctor,
welcome.
When you were talking about sensitizing, we know about desensitizing, sensitizing. Okay, with allergies, because a lot of people who don't really probably get allergies, or they will say like, they'll say like in Tagalog, hindi, okay lang yan, kainin mo ng kainin yan, tapos so they'll say, keep eating that, or keep doing that, keep touching it, then you'll get immune. But it's the opposite, isn't it? Because once for example, when you're a kid, it may be that you're allergic to shellfish, but you can outgrow that allergy depending on your immune system. And like when you're in your 20s, you can get allergic to something else, and so on and so forth, depending on your immune system and your particular, allergies. And I know you already mentioned that you work with allergists or allergologists. So I know you're into this, and probably immunologists. I mean, you're very knowledgeable about it. But I just, when you keep as you said, let's use the skin as an example. When you keep getting exposed to it, like let's say I don't know, it's not really that harmful, but dust breaks into your skin. And then it sends an alert. What the hell is this foreign object? Because it's not supposed to break through your skin. Yeah. But then it comes in because of the atopic dermatitis or whatever it is. So your skin starts reacting, and then they send these IgE cells and T cells to go fight it, and that's what causes the inflammation and all that. But if you inhale dust, you start getting allergic to it, and it gets worse the more you're exposed. I mean, I've actually had someone tell me to go and inhale a bunch of dust and I'll get immune, and I was like, no way, man. And then because that causes allergies, I mean, your body thinking that it's a harmful thing, or maybe it really is a harmful thing, but it could, it sends, correct me if I'm wrong, doctor, okay, anytime, please. It sends the soldiers, your immune system sends the soldiers to fight it. And sometimes it's the very things they do, like causing a lot of mucus to push the thing out of your nose, what you inhaled, or your body, or your eyes. It's the very things they do that can kill you. And get like to the point of anaphylaxis, which we don't like.
Right,
so, right. Am I okay? Can we now put those naysayers to rest? Okay, thank you, doctor.
Okay, let's put it this way. Maybe if I'll touch briefly about food. Hey, food is a little bit a lot of controversial issues there, but of course it's an allergist or an allergologist who can extensively talk about food allergy. But I will just put the superficial aspect of. I don't do allergy testing. All right. It's the allergologists, our colleagues who are the allergologists, or those from the PSI, the Philippine Society of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology. We have excellent allergologists at Makati Medical Center as well. But they will be the one who will decide what to do, what's the proper way to do things to a person manifesting with allergy, especially food allergy.
Yes.
Maybe, but I will just briefly, in a
To the
little segment of one, you'd better be careful of someone telling our listeners, our viewers. You'd better be careful from someone who's telling you, "Oh, you'd better finish that bowl of crabs or shrimp or even the peanuts because at least you will get desensitized." Okay, so but the problem is, no, you do not do it that way.
Yeah.
An expert under strict monitoring should be the one who will do that. I will want all our listeners and viewers to understand that. Never do it your way. It's your way or the highway.
Yeah. I actually know of people who died from doing that. Hindi, kakainin ko lang to. Hindi naman kasi may ako. And they died. Yeah.
It's if ever our allergologists, allergy specialists will do it. Desensitizing is very tricky. And again, an expert should do it. But it's introduced in very minute amounts. And with the expert doing it until that time that the allergist or the allergologist deem it's already like you have already reached that point of you have reached that point of desensitized to this particular component. But the strong message that I will tell everyone out there, do not take matters into your own hands and you think that, you know what, even if I take a spoonful of this every day or every other day. No, it's not done that way. All right. Now, when it comes to the skin, the skin is a different beast. There's no such thing as you get desensitized. The skin the skin is very smart. It's intelligent. Once the skin is already allergic to a particular component, consider it's a done deal. You'll never get desensitized to that particular component.
Broken up forever.
Yes. It's like forever, I cannot use this particular product or products because amongst these cosmetic products, that component that I am having an allergic reaction to is the common denominator between product A, product B, product C, product D is they all have this. All right, I'll make an example.
Yeah. Everything has garlic.
Paraben or
paraben. Paraben. I mentioned that. I mentioned it.
So. Yes. Or
not your fault. I mentioned it.
PPD, like paraphenyldiamine. You know those that dye their hair on their own and they buy this black dye from the drugstore and they start like, do not disturb me in 1 hour because I will be doing my hair. My white hair is already showing. So if you are already you already are manifesting with an allergic reaction to, perfect example, PPD that we see in hair dyes, the one that creates that black color.
Okay.
Consider it, well, that's permanent. There's no such thing as, I'm going to tattoo myself little by little lang with this and I will get desensitized. No, the skin says reject. It's already rejected. You introduce that thing to me again. You have no idea how much trouble and rash, itchy, oozing, angry rash I'm going to set on your scalp.
Yeah.
I'm going to set on your eyebrows. Nagpapatato sa eyebrow eh. I'm going to wreak havoc on your arm because you decided to tattoo yourself with a lizard. Well, that dye is going to create an eczema, a mean eczema.
So the skin is like the Supreme Court with the final decision. That's it.
Yes. Yeah. That's it. Court is adjourned.
Mhm. Yes. And doctor, okay. So can atopic dermatitis can it start as an allergy and then progress to an autoimmune disease?
Well, to a certain extent, the atopic eczema is an immunological problem.
Okay.
So it is a skin problem, a barrier problem. It is an immunological problem. All right.
Mhm.
So now what happens to an atopic person is prone, can develop allergies as well. It's
Okay.
it's a
An allergy is an autoimmune disease anyway, no?
yes.
So,
So basically, again, bottom line, it's an immunological issue.
okay.
But also the atopic eczema is a genetic problem. There are
Mm.
already several genes, but the first gene and the star of them all is the filaggrin gene.
Yes,
The
the
filament aggregating protein, the filaggrin gene is the one that is the source of translating in the skin
Mm.
to you're going to produce a good amount of natural moisturizing factors, or oh, I'm sorry, you're one of those that's really prone to developing eczema, to be more specific, atopic eczema, because there's a filaggrin gene problem,
So,
right?
doctor, you discovered that it's partially genetic and also partially environmental. Sorry, so
Yeah,
it's both.
so
Okay.
it's in and out, out and in. So in
Okay.
other words, environment cause, because there are moments wherein no matter how you look at the entire family,
Mhm.
there's no one in the family who has atopic eczema or a form of atopy. So it means that I'm the only one. So having said that, even if there's no family history of atopy, and
Atopy.
one of those that's is in the spectrum of atopy is atopic eczema or atopic dermatitis, but you are manifesting with a skin problem equivalent to atopic dermatitis, it's still possible. You don't need a positive family history of atopy or atopic eczema for you to be diagnosed or not to be diagnosed to have atopic dermatitis.
When we talk about genes, is it like, okay, how is it like, do both your parents have to have it, or only one ancestor? Can it skip generations, or is it familial, like your cousin can have it or your
Yes,
tito have it
yes.
but you
Or
don't? Mhm.
it's like if one of your parents has atopic eczema or atopy, then there's a likelihood, there's a percentage that one of the offsprings will develop atopic eczema. But if both parents have atopic dermatitis or a form of atopy, well, of course, the chances of the offsprings developing atopy or atopic dermatitis
Mhm.
is higher,
Can it
right?
skip generations? Like,
Well, yeah, well, but that again, it's still possible that no one in the family tree has atopic
yes, yes.
has a genetic is genetically atopic. I'll put it that
Okay,
way.
okay.
So again, when we are diagnosing patients with atopic eczema, we have a certain checklist or
Yes, how do you
criteria.
diagnose patients? Let's go there, doc.
Okay. One, the three important ones: itchiness
Mm-hmm.
and the classic rashes according to age, where it's located. So
Mhm.
those are the two important checklists for a patient to be diagnosed as having atopic eczema. Now, again, the family history is an iffy. It's not
Mhm.
anymore considered as, but diagnosing atopic dermatitis or atopic eczema is more
Mhm.
clinical, right?
Okay.
So clinically, we appreciate the lesions, and
Mhm.
then there are other ancillaries that we can request to maybe is the patient also fit an atopic by looking into the all right the blood count, what's
Mhm.
in the blood count, are the eosinophils high, or immune globulin E, is the patient, does the patient have abnormal levels of immune globulin E? In this day and age, there are other, what we're now calling as the biomarkers. But those are expensive. But again, to do those tests, still we look into the clinical manifestation of the patient.
So the
So
clinical
it's
manifest-
clinically.
so like a patient will go to you and then go to your clinic office, and then you will look at what they have, and then you will also interview them.
Yes, we ask, give me the story of your problem.
Yeah.
And then at that moment, more importantly, we assess the patient physically, look at the skin, describe the lesions, because in dermatological conditions, whether it is purely dermatological or it's part of a spectrum of a condition,
Yes.
of course, what the rashes look like to us, the dermatologist, it's vital. It's the main driver of what we will consider strongly as a clinical condition. So we may spot on just have one diagnosis, or we may consider other possible differentials that we could think of aside from atopic eczema.
Yes.
So again, what are the other things that we do outside of clinically looking at the patient? All right, do we do skin punch biopsy? We only do a biopsy of the skin only if we are considering other issues that a patient may have that looks like atopic eczema, or maybe another condition that is accompanying the patient's atopic skin manifestation. So, but again, strongly sticking to how do we diagnose? It's clinical.
It's clinical, and then you may have things like
blood tests.
We do other things, blood tests, where you can tell you can tell, as you were talking, is there the immuno.
It enhances, it enhances or adds on to our clinical suspicion of that this patient has atopy, and it gives also us a form of a meter, or how prognosticating the patient. It's like a meter wherein we'll say, wow, this patient is really going to have a very bad reaction every time the allergen comes walking along its path. So so we have various ways of various reasons why we request for laboratories, and or even refer to our colleague who will also help us manage this patient. Because it's not only the allergologist that we need to help manage a patient. All right. So it depends now what is the patient's present condition that we may need the help of our other colleagues. Okay, I will give one perfect example.
Okay.
Think of it this way. Not only atopic eczema or atopic dermatitis. If you are sick, if you are complaining of a particular condition for a long period of time, aka, in other words, a chronic problem, you have a chronic condition that you've become so tired of having this, and no matter what you do, it's still there. Isn't it? It affects your mental health.
It does.
Yes,
So you
it does.
go to refer to a psychiatrist.
Precisely. Now, imagine, especially if you are a patient or a person who's been afflicted with this condition since you were a kid.
Yeah.
And can you, and aside from that, that condition of yours is causing certain issues in your everyday activity and life, like number one, have you slept well last night? Or, how did you do in school?
Yes.
Or,
The alcohol was scratching the whole time.
Yes,
right?
it's like you're watching the Itchy Scratchy show. All
Yeah.
right, it's like you're in that cartoon, the Itchy Scratchy show.
And then the other
the
social
cat and the
factors.
mouse.
Exactly. The other factors come in, like you're being teased. by
You're being
people.
teased. It's like all of a sudden you become very socially withdrawn.
Mm.
Your mental health is greatly impacted from as a kid, especially as an adolescent, and when you become an adult. Now, what is happening in your state of mind? To a certain extent, you will likely have depressed states of depression, right?
Yeah.
So this is one of the examples we're in. When I'm already looking at my patient who's been battling this thing for decades already, I can see that that phase of distress. The patient is already calling out for, in a silent way, help.
Yes.
And our family members still, especially in the, agree or disagree with me, in the Philippines, there's still a stigma of mental health, right?
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
anyone has already heard that statement, that phrase, wag mong pansinin yan, ikaw naman talaga. Anuhin mo lang yan. Manood ka ng sine. Iniinda mo lang yan, wag mong isipin. So, no, it's real.
And then they'll say, it's all in your head. Kaya nga.
Exactly. Pwede ba gumising ka dyan? Wag mo yung isipin yan. Ayan ka na naman. Ang tigas ng ulo mo. Ouch!
Diba?
The poor person in his mind is screaming in that dark space. This is where now I talk extensively with the family. Do you know that having a psychologist or a psychiatrist is friend, and does not always mean that there is truly something mentally wrong?
It doesn't mean you have a mental disease. It doesn't mean that you are insane.
Yeah.
It helps you.
Yes, but our society, Asia, this is so prevalent in Asia. Yes, because we're so clannish, right?
Yeah.
Society matters a lot. The clan, the family matters a lot, and compared to other countries, they are more they accept, they are more open to that issue of the psychiatrist, the psychologist. What's wrong with them? But in Asia, there's something really wrong. So we now are trying to bend that mindset that we need the help of our psychologist or even our psychiatrist. Have an open mind that when you hear those two doctors, well, it's something wherein it's like your best friend, except that try to realize this. You cannot open your problems always to your family members. It's best to also seek someone with a unbiased standpoint.
I agree with you, because family members, of course, they can help you. And of course, your friends can. But if they're not trained, and they have feelings, and then they care about you too much, or sometimes they don't. Sometimes your friends are fake, or there's one family member has an agenda over the other, right? Or
yes.
So if you go to someone who is professional or unbiased, they may even just give you like things to think about, homework. And of course, psychiatrists, I mean, they do tend to give medication because they want the patient, they're doctors, so it's physical, right? It's organic, it's physical. You don't have to if you really don't want to, unless it's absolutely necessary. But they tend to treat like, okay, if you give you serotonin reuptake inhibitors or something, or maybe, but it doesn't have to be forever, but continue seeing them and talking. And I think people are also afraid of being judged, not just by the people around them, but they think the psychologist or psychiatrist will judge them.
Well, That
in
is
our
where,
culture.
yes. So, but again, we also I tell my patients or the parents of my patients, you know why I need the help also of the psychologist and psychiatrist? Okay, your child, when he or she gets frustrated, this becomes a reflex. Look at what I'm doing with my hands. It
Yeah.
suddenly becomes the claw that is scratching. Galit siya, he does
That's
this.
it.
It was his frustration, he does this. He's not doing anything, he does this. It all of a sudden, now we need the help of the psychologist or psychiatrist to help me please teach my patient to redirect this to something else when the issue of frustration comes into the picture.
So
So
basically,
I
stress.
am angry, I am stressed. Wait, I won't. No, don't do the claw. Don't do the claw. There is now redirecting that action to something else. And it's not a one-day goal. This is something wherein it has to be learned. It has to be learned. So that's where I say, one, we need the help of the psychologist or psychiatrist. Now, if I'm going to go back to the skin, aside from the patients coming to us, the dermatologist or me, I'm a pediatric dermatologist. We give medications
Still
both.
confused because I'm still a baby. Okay.
Everyone is a
Yeah.
baby, even up to 98 years old. We'll never stop becoming babies. So,
Okay. Sorry,
but
interrupted you, doctor. Go ahead.
it's okay. But the skin is in dire need of treatment. So we now propose topical and or oral medications. That's one. Two, there are other ways that we treat our patients, and that this is again where we need also the help of the help of the usage of the ultraviolet rays. And we have an equipment in the hospital, a phototherapy equipment that we also tell our patients, you need to go to that phototherapy treatment strategy. So so in other words, you have to talk to your doctor and let's see how you will be managed. But bottom line, it's very important that one, we have to put your skin at some resting state or in remission. The reason why I'm highlighting that is because, all right, a lot of patients I know, especially if it is a chronic problem, the moment they come into our clinics, their expectation is, this doctor, I'm expecting this woman to suddenly stop and heal me, treat it, and it will never come back because I'm tired. But the reality of it is that we can prevent and temper down that angry skin. And the realistic outlook of this is that there may be moments of hiccups. Oops, there's a flare again. Oops, there's a little flare again. But when we already give an advice on how to properly take care of your skin and what to avoid or what to watch out your lifestyle, if ever there's going to be a hiccup, the hiccup is not going to be as bad, and the hiccup is not going to be that often. So we can put that skin in a state of remission, control. We control the problem. We always emphasize the fact that I don't like to use the word, we will treat it and then suddenly it will never come back. You know what? I will be promoting snake oil if I say such a thing.
So basically, it's incurable, but it's manageable.
It can be managed. It
Can
can
be
be
managed.
controlled.
Can be controlled because if you know what not to do or what to do, so then you won't get the episodes, or you're less likely to get them.
Less likely to get the episodes. And you know what? It is a bonus for both of us if suddenly, you know what I noticed? I'm not rushing out anymore.
Yeah.
I'm rushing out to go to my office, but
Yeah.
I am not rushing out anymore. And boy, glorious, great. Thank you, God. I'm already through with my chronic problem.
Yes. And doctor, I'd just like to emphasize what you said earlier about training the claw. Like basically when people have chronic illnesses and it has to do with itching. I know this. Or conditions. There's, your tendency, when you feel frustrated, you feel it itches more, you scratch. When you're stressed out, you scratch. So that's why it's also important to treat the mental side of it, because you're so used to, it's become your body's way of like, it's your body's way saying like, this is the physical part that you feel is so related to your emotions.
Yeah.
And whatever hormones are being released at the moment.
Yes.
And then, as you said, there are you can control
Yes.
and calm the skin,
Yes.
put it in remission or in a state of rest,
Yes.
and manage it, manage the atopic dermatitis.
Yes.
But it and maybe you'll notice up to a point where, hey, I haven't had it in 3 years. And it's, as you said, it's a bonus for both you and the patient.
Yes.
Okay. Doctor, we just have to take a short break.
Sure.
I've enjoyed this so much that I've been ignoring to take a short break. We're just going to take a short break, very short break, and we'll be right back. So stay tuned outside of the Makati Med. We're here with Dr. Dizon. Okay.
You're listening to DZRJ 810 AM. We'll be right back after these reminders.
Hi, this is Dr. 𝗛𝗶𝘁𝗵 from Makati Medical Center, and I'm happy to share that our world-class quality healthcare with the heart is now more accessible and affordable at Makati Med Care Access, Araneta City. What's more, Makati Med Care Access is the only single-use hemodialysis center in Araneta City. It's now easier for patients to avail of renal care services right in the heart of Cubao. We offer health screening and diagnostic procedures in this facility at affordable rates. You can get services such as mammogram, ultrasound, lab procedures, ECG, and many others. We believe that access to affordable, quality, and compassionate healthcare is a basic human right. And we at Makati Med Care Access Araneta City are doing our best to make this possible to more people. You can find us at the ground floor of Manhattan Plaza Tower 1 in Araneta Center, Cubao. We are open from Mondays to Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sundays from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. For inquiries, you may reach out to us at the numbers below. We look forward to serving you here at Makati Med Care Access, Araneta City. This is Dr. 𝗛𝗶𝘁𝗵 from Makati Medical Center, and I'm happy to share that our world-class quality healthcare with the heart is now more accessible and affordable through Makati Med Care Access at 𝗛𝗶𝘁𝗵. Available for outpatient care services, our 𝗛𝗶𝘁𝗵 site offers consultation and diagnostic procedures such as medical assistance, hospital admission assistance, blood pressure monitoring, laboratory tests, and X-ray, among others. This is really convenient for those residing in Makati and nearby areas who do not want to go to the hospital to have these treatments and procedures done. We believe that access to excellent quality and compassionate healthcare is a basic human right, and we at Makati Med 𝗛𝗶𝘁𝗵 are doing our best to make this possible to more people. We are open from Monday to Saturday at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the third floor of 𝗛𝗶𝘁𝗵 in Makati City. For inquiries, you may reach us at these numbers. We look forward to serving you here at Makati Medcare Access 𝗛𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗵.
You're back with Healthline, keeping you healthy. Moderated by Nicole Jacinto.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Healthline with Makati Med. I'm your host, Nicole Jacinto. We are here with a very, I would say, ebullient Dr. Maria Victoria Dizon. What should I call you? Just Dr. Dizon? Dr. D?
No, Dr. Dizon.
Dr. Dizon, okay. Dr. Dizon, D for dermatologist and D for Dizon. Okay. So doctor, I mean, look, I had 5 pages of questions. Didn't even need it. You answered it. Didn't even have to ask it. See?
Toss it out.
Yeah, toss it out. I mean, this is the type of like conversation that I really enjoy having, but I also wanted to bring information to the people who need it. So thank you for being the kind of guest where I can just toss out the papers. You know, you answered it all. And by the way, hello to Chiara in South Carolina. Hi there, Chiara. How you doing? Okay, she is watching from South Carolina. Okay, so doctor, and by the way, I'm not insulting her. She's a friend of mine. This is how she talks. Okay, so doctor, we have a few minutes left. Perhaps, like, what do you want to say? The floor is yours about atopic dermatitis and anything else. And then I will get your number after the show. And I would really, really, really ask you to come back on the show and talk about other things.
All right. Few things. All right. Number one, skin is a very complex organ. And if it's rashy, if it's itchy, atopic eczema is one of the common problems that one is stricken with chronic itchy skin. But remember this, whatever you get sick with, you have to consult a proper doctor, a board certified doctor in your territory. I'm very emphatic on your territory because who is licensed in South Carolina? Who is licensed in Hawaii? It's like it's so difficult to ask on the internet of a person, of a physician who is based in some other timeline in opposite the international dateline, because the doctor has to see you face to face. Now, in my books, there are treatment options to help you out with your illness, your problem. Atopic dermatitis is one of them. But remember that it is tailor-made according to what you are presenting with. This is not like a copy-paste thing. The doctor has to talk to you. And you have to learn from your doctor. I believe in educating my patients. I talk to my patients a whole lot, not only about their condition, but also about the treatment that I am giving. Why am I giving this medication? Why is this my way of doing things? And what are you going to expect in the coming days, weeks, months, years? But I believe in talking. It's a two-way street. Gone are the days that the doctors are just the only ones talking. Now it is empowering the patient also. We want to hear from you because I want you to comply and adhere to my treatment strategy. I want to make sure that you are going to do what I had advised you to do. And don't hesitate to talk to your doctor and ask questions. After all, you deserve to be informed. That's important, because if you're well informed, you now will be able to understand why you have to do the treatment that you are taking, applying, or how it is administered to you. Talk to your doctor.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for explaining all these things to us. Thank you for informing us, educating us, and making us happy. Okay, that's all the time we have for today. And thank you for being us. Please come back, and I still have to get your number right after the show. Folks, thanks for tuning into Healthline with Makati Med. Okay. Folks, thanks for tuning into Healthline with Makati Med. And we'll be back again next week. So everybody take care and tune in again. Okay? Bye, Doc. Bye, everybody.
Have a
Thank you for tuning in to Healthline with expert doctors from Makati Med, giving you the chance to interact, uplifting your lifestyle. Moderated by Nicole Jacinto. Tune in again next week for your weekly dose of Healthline.